I think it's a lack of self-belief. It's all about the people. I couldn't care less about the bank balance.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Davidson, the founder of Sleek Events, and I'm extremely unemployable.
Surely I can do something, like what am I going to do? One day I got a text message, Jen knows too much, it's time for her to go. We went from being the 19 fastest privately owned company to,
No.
I don't need to be an arsehole to be successful. Choose your attitude. Every day you've got a choice to choose your attitude. Unless you're planning on paying me for that, I'm not 100% not doing it. I don't see myself the same way that I think everyone else does. It's hard not to get emotional because...
Hi everybody and welcome to the Unemployables podcast. We're here at the amazing ITV HQ and we've got an epic guest today in Jen Davidson, founder of Sleek Events. Everybody, a round of applause for Jen. And yourself, love it. Listen, it is so good having you here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming. And I mean, you are building an absolutely incredible business, already up to 34 million turnover business, which you basically started, am I right, essentially at your kitchen table?
Yes, as cliche as that sounds.
Right, it is though, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a desk in a spare room. So.
How long ago?
Last week, apparently the team informed me it was my 13th year anniversary. So I would say seriously, probably 10 years, properly.
And I love asking this question because I'm always interested in the answers I get, which can be quite varied. But if I'd have told you 13 years ago that it would be what it is now and the size that it is now and as amazing it is now, would you have believed me?
No.
No, right, okay. I love it when I get that answer because
I still don't. I ignore the numbers because the numbers can be quite scary and they are quite vast. So as bizarre as that sounds as a founder and a business owner, I ignore all the financials as much as I can. I kind of just focus on what we're trying to achieve. Otherwise I get kind of not spooked, but I'm just not, money to me has never been a thing that is a priority. So again, it sounds really bizarre because most people build a business to sell a business.
But for you, that's just not in the...
I'm not going to do that, no. Keep being asked in different ways and different languages and different kind of questions, but it's not going to be a thing, no.
Well, listen, let's go back to the beginning then, because it's always a good place to start, I'm told. In terms of you and what's inside you, in terms of, I mean, talking to you before we started this, the amount of ambition that you've got, where did that start? What are the things that started to formulate you as the person that you are now?
I think it's a lack of self-belief on multiple different levels. I think when I was at school and uni, my grades never kind of, I never felt like I could really fit in or get the academic system. And I didn't really understand why. And I kind of thought to myself, surely I can do something, like what am I going to do? And then I applied for uni with some really poor grades and made it into Bournemouth just literally with a few UCAS points above what you needed to get in. And even then, I kind of really struggled to get my head around assignments and what I needed to do. And it was kind of just trying to work out, where can I prove myself? Like people kept going, oh, you haven't got the right grades, you probably can't do this, and you're never going to make money running an events agency, or just having the wrong kind of leaders around me was a real drive to prove people wrong, I suppose. I think that's the main motivation, to just prove people that there was more to me than they made out.
What about as childhood? Because which I find amazing, because you haven't got any of it in your accent. You're like a proper full-blown German, aren't you?
I am,
Real
yeah.
German.
Real German, yes. I'm a real
Like born
German.
there, raised there.
Yes.
There is absolutely no
German.
sign of that in your
No.
accent. But in terms of as a child, just tell us a little bit about your upbringing as a child. Is that where you could feel the start of wanting to
Yeah,
be something?
probably. I think my parents got divorced when I was 6, and my dad wasn't the best sort of dad, really. He was a nice enough guy, but I think he worked with, now that I've done a lot of personal development, I think you learn that people do the best with the tools they have available.
Yeah.
So it's not about holding any resentment or grudges. It's kind of about understanding why they did what they did. And for me, I think I was never a priority for him. Really, I spent very little time with him. And then when I was 21, he had a heart attack and died.
Oh.
And I was always a daddy's girl growing up, but it was strange because he never invested in the relationship. And he was a builder or a tradesman. And whenever he did see us, it would usually be in a pub, funnily enough. And in Germany, they have a bell that they ring where they buy everyone in the pub around. And he would love showing me off. And my brother, as soon as we'd walk into a pub, be like, oh, this is my daughter. She can speak English and she can do this. And it was almost like I was a trophy to kind of parade around. But outside of that, he just did nothing. So it was a really weird experience. And I never enjoyed being in the limelight, which is why I probably grew sleek under wraps for quite a long time before I really kind of put my foot down on the gas. And I think that probably stems a lot to do with wanting to prove someone wrong and prove that, you know, it doesn't matter what your past is, you can shape your future and where you go. And that, I would say, forms the foundations, the kind of red thread to most things I approach.
So it's the two aspects of the relationship with your dad, and then it's the, as you said, academic side with getting to university, and again, another felt like you had a point to prove after that.
Yeah, and I think you see a lot of people that have tough upbringings and tough experiences in lives, and they accept that that is their life and they don't have another choice. As where actually we all have a choice. We could wake up tomorrow and change our direction of life solely on a decision we make. So for me, it was kind of proving to all those that felt that their life had been pre-written for them that that's not actually correct and they could do so much more.
Okay, this is fascinating, and thank you so much for sharing this, because you're right, so many people don't think they can. Small number will actually go, I can. What is it, do you think, that enabled you to go, I can and I will?
There was one book which is called Who Says You Can't, You Do. And I started my personal development journey after a breakup. I was with someone for 10 years and I found out they cheated on me in a really random way, and it went on for a long time, and I allowed that person to really disrespect me, and it kind of made me realise that I needed to do a lot of work on myself. It was actually me that drove that situation based on my past. And this book that I picked up, and I can't remember how I stumbled across it, but in it, the guy who wrote it refers to two twin brothers who are grown up, and one has a happy family, a good career, really well established, and no financial issues, and the other one is an alcoholic, lives off benefits and has a real mess of a life. And he did this research where he asked them questions, and at the end of it he asked both of them the same question and said, why do you think you ended up like this? And they didn't know, they weren't together when they were interviewed, and they both answered in the same way and said, what choice did I have?
So for you, it's what choice?
Yeah,
the only choice is to do it.
Yeah.
So after Bournemouth University,
yeah,
where you graduated, how far away was it then from starting Sleek?
It was like 2-3 years, something like that. Again, I worked for a few companies where they were driven by males who, again, didn't necessarily respect the work. And I think it's funny, isn't it? You hear people talk about how things are unacceptable in a workplace, how males talk to females and things like that. And actually, if I scroll back to when I first started my career, it was a thing. People would talk to you in a certain way, and it was deemed as acceptable. I remember one of my first jobs out of university. It was run by 3 founders, and they were dabbling behind the scenes with different members of staff.
Right.
And I knew about it, and one of the people was trying to sabotage my career, although she was sleeping with one of them, and I knew. And one day I got a text message from one of the founders that said, Jen knows too much, it's time for her to go.
No.
I messaged back and I said, I assume that wasn't meant for me. And he said, well, good news is you know now, so.
Jeez, there was no moment of, oh my goodness, what have I done? This is nuts.
And I felt...
the arrogance of that.
I know. And what was amazing was I felt like I had done something wrong. And again, I think your past shapes you so much, you really have to become aware of your behaviours and where you can change patterns. And at that time, I could have 100% taken them to the cleaners over that. Like, that was not, but I just let it slide.
Why?
It's a really good question. Too
focused on what you were going to do? Didn't want that, no?
I think I was ashamed for them, almost.
Really?
I think so. That's the only way I could describe it, because of all the people that would end up getting hurt in the process.
Really?
Yeah, it was, and at the end of the day, I don't need to go to bed. sleeping with that in my conscience, do I? So yeah, it was an interesting experience.
So based on what you've built now, and we'll come on to this, an incredible culture, do you still feel the same about that decision you made? Or if you had your
No,
time
I should
again?
have 100%
Really?
done. I would, yeah. I mean, I would 100% call them out now. What was interesting was all these experiences, when you actually stop and analyze them and really kind of try and understand them, you realize that you have a choice. You don't need to be treated or spoken to in a certain way. And just because one person has a lack of belief in you doesn't mean that you're incapable of creating something. So I think really the takeaway from all of that is I don't need to be an arsehole to be successful. It's the biggest thing for me.
Yeah.
Like, you just don't need to be a dick.
That brings us to now.
Yeah.
You have been absolutely hell-bent on building a company with an incredible culture. What does that culture feel like in terms of, how do you describe it in terms of bringing it to life? Because you smile every time I mention Sleek.
It's hard not to get emotional because I genuinely, the people are so amazing. How they have managed to take what I thought was a dream and make it a reality is like next level. And they are all so amazingly invested in what I've built. And at a service business, it's really hard to make it into any lists of any recognition because, you know, we're not churning out products. We have to deliver. And if we don't deliver, we are out. The competition's so fierce out there. So for me, like, we do offsites once a year, and that is where I am at my happiest. Bringing everyone to, every single person comes. You know, one member of staff to me said once, well, you don't want to miss the offsite. She changed. I mean, this is an extreme commitment, but I love her for it. She changed her she was getting married in a registry office, and she changed her date because she was not missing this offsite.
Wow.
And the team don't know anything about the offsite. So that's the one event I'm still allowed to plan. This year was really special. I took everyone offline. We had no screens. And I brought back a speaker I saw before I officially started Sleek, who was one of the 2 inspirational speakers that kind of shaped my future. And she came back after meeting me 12 years ago and spoke at the event. So it was amazing. Her name's Deborah Sell. She rode across the Atlantic by herself. She started with her husband, and then her husband stopped 2.5 weeks in, and she carried on.
Did she?
And it took her
Are they still together?
No, they got divorced shortly after. But she does say it's not because of that.
Okay.
But her mantra was choose your attitude. Every day you've got a choice to choose your attitude and reframe whatever's going on. And I asked her if she would come and speak. And the first thing she said when we initially touched base was like, I cannot believe what you've achieved in the years that I haven't seen you or spoken to you. Like, this is unbelievable.
How did that feel?
It was really special because I think she's amazing. And it was amazing for her, for something that, when I remember where we were in a Prague in a Marriott hotel somewhere in like a real basic room setup, and I saw her speak. And to think where we are now is next level. But yeah, we do this offsite for the team, and it's really special. And the culture it's all about the people. It's literally, I couldn't care less about the bank balance. It's about what I can give back to the people. And you really mean that? 100%. Last year we paid out a significant amount in bonuses, and everyone in the company gets it. No one is on any specific individual bonus structure. It's all based on company performance so that there's alignment. It's based on our sustainability, and it's based on our client satisfaction, so that we are all aligned in driving a common goal.
Would you say that to thrive in Sleek, everyone has got to be hyper ambitious? Is that
No.
What is it that makes, what's kind of the cornerstone that you kind of look at for people that you know they are, what do you call them, a Sleekster? Is there a name?
I don't know what we call them. I look at people's values and what they want out of life rather than their kind of skill set or academic grades.
Yeah.
For me, it's about finding the people that maybe haven't been given an opportunity to shine and giving them that opportunity to shine.
So backing the underdog sometimes.
Yeah, basically. I think for me, it's about, it's not easy, is it? Events is hard work. It's really long hours, and
it's exhausting, right? As an industry, it's hard.
Yeah, it's hard, but you also get real buzz off going on site. Like, that's my favorite time. So it doesn't matter, like, the biggest event we do is 24,000 people and they're in build for 6 days and it's a 1-day event. But then when you open the doors for registration, all these thousands of people come in, like, you have no idea what's going to happen. It doesn't matter how much you plan, anything could happen. And it's that whole buzz and that whole energy of seeing people. And I love it when I see people that just started in the industry and they achieve something and you can see their pride, and when they're standing there and presenting something, it's really nice.
Well, let's just pick up Sleek Events in terms of what you do. You're an independent experienced partner.
Yeah.
Tell me exactly what that means and what you do.
So technically, in simple terms, we're an event agency. Yeah. Now, the reason we don't refer to ourselves as an event agency is because we are independent. Yeah. And in the last 6 weeks, I think there's been more mergers and acquisitions than there has been, like, I don't know, weather changes in the UK, which is quite extreme. And that means that there's no loans, there's no investment. I own 95%. So I got married, so I had to give my husband 5%, but he does work for the business. So, you know, it's amazing that he's come on board and we're growing it together now.
We're going to have to go there in terms of the dynamic working with your partner, but don't worry, parked, I'm going to come to that.
We can come back to that.
What's his name?
Andrew.
Okay.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Andrew.
Big shout out to Andrew. He puts up with a lot. Yeah. And he's going to love that there's a darts board in this room as well. So that's going to be his room. And we, in the simplest terms, we deliver events. But ultimately, for us, the reason we call ourselves independent experienced partners is because events are an experience. The emotions and the feelings that you get from attending an event or an experience can be amazing. You know, what you can make people feel at award ceremonies, or it's a real roller coaster of just, it's unbelievable. Like, it's just experiencing that, in whether you're at a rave or wherever you may be, like, the emotions is, it's a rush of just like, wow, especially when the team behind put it off and actually, you know, nobody really knows who's behind the scenes. But you get a real kind of rush of, wow, okay, we did that. That was amazing. And
hey, can you help us take Abbey Road to another level this year?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
for sure.
As you're talking, it's getting me excited. Yeah.
But it's so good. Events is the best thing ever, because I started off kind of.
It's a total endorphin hit, isn't it?
It's like, so good. It's literally.
I can't sleep.
I love
I'm buzzing if it goes well.
It's so
if
good.
It doesn't go well, it doesn't happen at Phoebe.
To be honest, every now and then something happens, doesn't it? The internet breaks, a pigeon flies in, you just don't know what's going to happen. But it kind of is fun, because you kind of also play those games before you get on site and go, right, what happens if, I don't know, someone suddenly faints in the middle of 5,000 people, sort of thing. So, yeah.
I want to come Abbey Road this year. I want to come in on a plane or something like that. I want to make a big entrance. Can you help me with that?
Anything is possible.
We'll take that offline.
Cirque du Soleil. Cirque du Soleil is what springs to mind. So yeah, we execute events of all scale. The biggest is 24,000 people. We work, I know.
Whoa.
Should pause there maybe.
Whoa, that's huge.
Yeah, and we build over 130 exhibition stands, and then 20 of those on top are very grand stands.
How many people do you have
in the team?
Yeah.
To execute it, the core team, I would say, is probably around 30, and then it bulks up when it gets closer to the time.
Yeah. So is it a cyclical business in many respects?
We used to joke that we used to be quiet in the summer, but now there's a bit of a joke that we're never quiet.
You're never quiet.
Yeah. So, and then we do automotive. We do a variety of different stuff. But I think the most important thing is the partner in that kind of description of what we do, because...
Yeah, the partner's important, isn't it?
It's about relationships, finding the right people that you want to work with and building partnerships where you're wanting to thrive together rather than treating your suppliers like a supplier, ultimately. It's funny when new people start and I kind of say to them, just be yourself. You know, we don't need to talk in code. There's a lot of markup in the industry. So when we then go in and we only charge on time, that's where we make our money. And again, we're quite transparent about that. People are, oh, you have a lot more days than XYZ, or, you know, whatever agency they're talking about. And you're kind of like, okay, but this is how it's broken down. This is how it works over the weeks. And we kind of take them through that educational process. And what we don't do is end the job with sending our clients huge invoices where we're going, oh, we've gone over. We aim to try and give something back, which is unheard of. So we're up against this constant, well, everyone tells us that, Jen. And I'm like, okay, well, it's up to you. Either kind of take a a risk, or, you know, take a gamble, or don't. And then when they do, they're like, wow, okay, you actually mean it.
Can you give me an example in terms of giving something back? What do you mean?
So if a client's got a budget of 200K, for example, and they want to do X, Y, Z, and we kind of scope it up and we'll say, okay, that's possible within that amount. But what we try and do is negotiate along the way. So we pass, all our costs are passed through.
Okay.
So we give them all back to the client.
Okay.
And ultimately what you find a lot of the time is someone will tell you this house is 50 quid when realistically it's 15 quid.
Right.
But they're kind of...
Is that what you mean by don't talk in code then? In terms of just say exactly how it is?
Yeah.
Let's not mess about.
Yeah. And I was on a call with a new client last week, and she says that some of her team hadn't worked with us before. And she said, the thing is, guys, there's no bullshit with Jen. She just tells you how it is. And everyone's like, what? And she's like, it's just easy, because you kind of just know where you stand with her. And I think that's important. There's a real fine balance of finding those relationships where you can be yourself with.
Yeah.
Because ultimately our job is to make you look amazing.
Yeah.
And if we don't do that, we're not doing our job right. So it's also our job to tell you if we don't think your ideas, you know, flying in maybe, aren't as right.
Do you think it's a shit idea, Jen?
It depends what your venue is.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll have to see the scene first.
Yeah, Abbey Road, it's bonkers.
I don't know how we'd kind of get you in there, and
I'll park it for this year.
We can do.
I'll go on your advice.
Yeah, we can do a site visit. So yeah, it's finding partnerships, really. Ultimately, finding partnerships where you can thrive together and collaborate and create some amazing stuff, and everyone focus on their kind of skill set and what makes them excellent, and then put all of that together and build an amazing team.
And you know how you mentioned the word independent? You know, you said we are in a world of serious consolidation at the moment. You're talking about M&A especially. Every single sector seems to be affected by it, positively or negatively.
Yeah.
And you started with the word independent. That's the very first word you used.
Yeah.
Are you always going to be independent? Is that everything to you? Is that all that matters? And if so, why?
The answer is yes. And the reason being, I'm yet to see a merger or acquisition go well where the people that actually take the businesses to where it takes them being looked after.
So because for you then it's because the people, your very why, your very reason to exist, there can be serious uncertainty about how they're looked after.
Yeah.
Wow. And that for you, that's just something you're not prepared to even consider.
No, it would go against everything I stand for. So it would not, yeah.
You are a great boss.
Well,
it's lovely to hear this. And ownership as well.
Yeah.
You know, you mentioned you and your husband own the business. So often as businesses start to grow, they start to take on an investment. I mean, there must have been really hard growing pains to get to your scale, to have done it organically, right? Or did you manage to do it in such a way that it wasn't hard?
Well, we had COVID in the middle and it was illegal to run events. So
that was tricky.
That was slightly challenging. Yeah. We went from being the 19th fastest privately owned company just before we were going through some real exponential growth to 5 people, which was, and I think we still made money that year, but we went from, and again, I don't remember my figures perfectly, but I think we went from like 7 million turnover to 1 million. And lost. And the thing is, it was the hardest thing was letting go of the team. That was the hardest thing. But we then had to start again from scratch. We basically had 4 people the moment kind of Boris was like, right, you can go. It's legal to run events again. And pre-COVID, we never did any advertising, any sales. Everything was word of mouth. And when we came back, I had like an element of like lack of self-belief of, am I as good as everyone else out there? Because there were some really big players. And I had to really retrain my brain to be like, no, I can absolutely do this. And then we grew 465% in 6 months.
After?
As soon as it was legal to run events again. So from March, I think it was March, around the 3rd week of March from memory.
Because there'd been so much pent-up demand to do this?
I just started shouting about sleep. I was like, right, if I don't start now, when will I start and how will I know? And throughout COVID, I had a child and I got a puppy and did life and we got married. And I just kept saying to everyone, right, when we come back, we're going to be bigger, better and stronger. And I said that every week. And I think they all thought I had baby brain or I was going mental because they were like, we are literally doing nothing, Jen. Like there's 4 of us here. So
getting to believe, so it feels to me you've been on a journey of self-belief.
yes, I think
In a really lovely way. There's no
Yes.
like arrogance in your belief whatsoever. And that is just absolutely obvious.
Yeah.
But do you now feel that you're at a point where that belief is absolutely, it's there, it's within you, it's almost, dare I say it, bulletproof, even though I know that's a very harsh way to put it, not a harsh way to put it, it's a very strong way to put it. But yeah, describe that self-belief in terms of where it is now.
Well, doing things like this is very new to me. I said as of January I was going to start doing this.
Well, you're damn good at it.
So thanks. So I'm still working on that angle. But so I suppose the self-belief isn't as... I don't see myself the same way that I think everyone else does. Like I say to the team, I'm no more important than any of you here. I am at the same level as all of you. And if I go into a room of entrepreneurs or founders, I always wonder whether I should have a space in those rooms.
Really?
Yes, definitely.
Wow. Even with the level of success that you've hit?
Yeah. Maybe it's because I ignore the numbers. I don't know. Maybe I should read the numbers more. Yeah, I think I don't want to lose. I don't think arrogance needs to come with it. I think, I feel very connected to the team and to what I'm about and what I want to achieve. And that to me is more important than, I don't know, having a makeup artist follow me around or whatever that may come with. So, yeah.
Jem, one thing we were just talking about before we started was that if a client is not a good client, if they don't treat your people well, then they will cease to be a client regardless of how much they pay you. Mm-hmm. Now, I think that is brilliant because a bad client can make everything wrong, yeah. And ultimately go completely against your why, which is making your people happy. That takes courage to do, right?
Yeah, I definitely think it's unheard of.
But it's your non-negotiable.
It is a non-negotiable. I've applied it twice in the last 12 months. Initially, when we wrote our strategy, the lady who wrote it was all about, I've only worked with companies that build and sell. And she asked me in 7 different ways, if you had a client that said they were going to give you £8 million, but they didn't like this member of staff, would you get rid of the member of staff? And I was like, no. She was like, what? And then like a week later, she'd asked me the question a different way. And then she eventually got it and was like, right, you are being serious. And I was like, yes. And then last year we delivered 2 events for a client. It wasn't a small client. We were in the middle of a 2-year contract, but I'd had several emails from full-time members of the team and freelancers saying that they were spoken to in a disrespectful manner. And I said to the person who heads up the department, I said, you can either call the client or I will call the client, but this is not acceptable. And nobody should be spoken to like this, and they need to apologise. And they did apologise, and we delivered the event. And then after that, I kept getting my gut instinct kept telling me that they were just trying to be sneaky behind our backs. They weren't being genuine. They kept trying to make out we weren't delivering certain things, and their culture just was really not very pleasant. And we got into this call. I basically directly asked him for a call and I said, I get the impression you're trying to pull a fast one on us. And is that correct? Because this is what I'm hearing and this is what I'm seeing. And he said, all you need to do is worry about delivering the event. I said, actually, I don't. I said, what I need to worry about
That's
is my
exactly the
team.
kind of arrogance you do not like, right?
No, I did not like that.
That went down like a sack of shit, I suspect, yeah.
Fortunately, I was actually standing and walking at the time, which helped calm my nerves, I think. And I just said to her, let me stop you there. That is the one thing I don't need to be doing. My team will deliver the event, so that won't be an issue. What I need to be concerned about is how you are treating my team and what is going on. And anyway, fast forward a few weeks and we delivered the event, and on site, just before we went on site, I had a real negative feeling, and I just said, do you know what? I'm not going to go on site. I pulled myself off and I just said, I'm not going to go because I don't want it to impact the team and the delivery, and I don't want to say something I'm going to regret. And I'm so glad I didn't, because the client brought another agency undercover on site, and it was a customer-only event, so they shouldn't have been there. And some of the people that worked with me spotted them and said, that's another agency. And they phoned me and I said, right, okay. Anyway, I then demanded a call the week after and they said, oh, you've done the most amazing job. It was so good working with you. It's just like, what we might want to do is actually just do a refresh, like really challenge the relationship and like just get you to pitch all over again. And I was like, we're in the middle of a 2-year contract. We've just given you a 5% discount on, which is a huge amount of money for an independent business. And the pitch in itself costs, minimum of 50 grand. So unless you're planning on paying me for that, I'm not 100% not doing it. And he's like, I think you should think about it. Think about the competitive advantage. And I was like, well, then it doesn't sound like a fair process, does it? So I just said, there's no way I'm going in on Monday and telling my team that we're going to, well done, everyone. You did an amazing job. The client absolutely loves it. As a thanks.
You got a pitch for it.
We got a pitch out of our own pocket. So I just said, no, thank you. And it was a huge amount of money. But again, it would have either been the money in the bank balance or the people. And I sent all of the people that worked on the job, including the freelancers, an email saying, thank you so much for everything you did. And I've made this decision. And they came back. One of the ladies came back and said, oh, sorry, it's taken me 2 weeks to respond. Every time I read your email, I had to pick up my chin from the floor because no one's ever looked after me like this.
Really?
And like other people.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And
that's amazing.
Another lady was like, I was asked by the incumbent agency to pitch. And I just said to them, no, if Jen's got our back, I've got hers. She's like, I've turned down 6 months worth of work, but do you know what? It's worth it for this. So yeah, it was an amazing feeling. But that comes back down to the culture. I think you've got to live by what you say you're going to do, because otherwise there's far too many people just...
Well, it's your principle. End of.
Yeah, exactly.
And nothing will change that.
No.
And if we look at where the business is now going in terms of the team you're building, obviously as you've hit a size that you are, you've been taking on, I hate the word C-suite, what would you call it? Senior role, senior executives?
It's finding people that are really awesome at their job around you.
But you're building a senior level board as well, right?
Yes, yeah, technically.
And for some founders, that's tricky.
Yeah.
How have you found that?
Not tricky, surprisingly. It's been tricky finding the right people because I think we, as founders, are quite a unique blend of individuals.
Yeah, amen to that.
Yeah, so I think that's the tricky. I think it's harder for the people coming in than for me, in the sense that we have ideas and we move at pace, and they're kind of once you visualize where you want to go, it's hard to stop me, for example. If I'm like, I want to do this, then we're going to go for it. But in general, bringing in those people, I think, will only elevate me and make me better at what I do. Last week, I did a really bold move. I emailed the entire company and asked them for feedback on how I can become a better leader.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't think I've heard that before.
Yeah.
How did that go down?
Well, they've got until tomorrow to respond. No, I have had some responses. It's been really nice, actually.
How do you do it in such a way that you're saying to people, you've really got to be totally honest, don't tell me what I want to hear? Like, I think my messaging has been consistent regardless of what size Sleek has been. And I always encourage the team to have a voice, because to me, I can't know everything. So I've got to rely on people to tell me when they think something doesn't feel quite right. Yeah.
And I can only get better if people help me, because I don't have someone that runs my appraisals or my reviews. And for me, it's important that I listen to everyone, know what works and what doesn't. For me, the culture is something I would never want to lose, because I lost it when COVID happened, and rebuilding that was one of the hardest things. We came back and we are office by design, so we are office based, and pre-COVID, that was never a topic of conversation. And now all these companies are struggling to build a culture, and they're wondering how or why. And it's not about, we offer so much flexibility to ensure people can have lives and be there for their children. And, if someone tells me they have a sports day, I'm like, why are you here? And we've implemented extended parental leave for those that have school holidays and want to be there for their kids, like Life's for Living. Like Sleek's an enabler at the end of the day for people to live life. So that to me is super important.
But getting people back into the office, how have you managed to do that? Because that is where...
It wasn't ever a struggle.
It was never a struggle.
No, it's never been a struggle.
Because that can be a whole debate, can't it?
It was a whole debate at the beginning. Recruiters would tell me, never going to find the right people, Jen. They're all wanting to work from home. But I mean, what company is not announcing the enforcement of being in the office at the moment, and how they don't have a culture and people don't know each other? And yeah, it's madness. And also, if you start a career, how can you ensure that you can learn and grow really quickly from the experts around you when you're never with them? You know, you can't really absorb that from Slack or Teams or whatever platform.
Is that why, or is that a big reason why? Because
No,
you felt that you were able...
we sell events.
Okay.
Events means being together. So
Right.
if we're trying to sell a service that means bringing people together and we're not together as a company, it seems really bizarre to me.
Got it.
And to me, it's also the energy the team gets from being around each other. And well, we don't eat lunch at our desks, for example. So everyone sits and chats and they know each other. So then when we go on site, if someone is having an off day, for example, or I don't know, something happens, and they're really emotional, you need to be able to read that person in an instant and protect them. So for me, it's about knowing who you're working with so that you can be there for them at the time that they need you to be.
Are there any nuggets that we can learn in terms of how you can create, how you can communicate, how you can make sure you get people that are happy to be office-based?
I think you just need to communicate that from the beginning.
From the beginning.
It's just need to be really clear what you stand for
Okay.
and what you're about.
Exactly,
and
like you
why
just said,
do
if we're
it.
doing events, we've got to be together. If we're not together...
Yeah, I mean, after COVID, everyone was selling events, but no one was actually physically together. It was like, okay, so you're encouraging people to bring thousands of people together, but you as a company are saying you're not together. But it's not just about that. It's about the energy. It's about things that you can't necessarily get, you know, relationships. What was the one thing we were desperate for after COVID?
Yeah.
Relationships, seeing people, being together, the energy you get. You know, they say you could be as tired as you like at the end of a working week, but if your best mate suddenly lands from Hong Kong and knocks on the door, you find a burst of energy you never thought you had.
It's a lovely way to put it.
Yeah. And it's kind of like when you get certain people together and, you know, they did a surprise 40th for me last year and things like that, where we do cakes and we have so many cakes, and we do team lunches and welcome lunches, and we have wellness activities we do together and things like that. It's just, you can't buy that. Like you just don't get that off looking off a screen. You just can't get it. And I think building those connections with people, to me, is something that, you know, most people long for. You know, we all look for a partner in life, or we want to have a family and we want to have people around. That's it. You want a sense of belonging and you want to feel something you can't buy off a shelf.
Yeah. We talk a lot about in Phoebe about mistakes. We call them the fuck ups.
Yeah.
And Cam, who does a great job researching the amazing people that come here, was saying that that's something that you like to embrace, the mistakes, and talk about openly.
Yeah.
Have you made some right royal fuck ups along the way?
I don't have a manual to do my job, so I'm sure there are decisions I've made that have some people haven't aligned with necessarily. In terms of real big fuck ups, I mean, I think not trusting your gut instinct and thinking that that is a skill that doesn't deserve the respect that it should get is the biggest one.
Yeah.
I think, you know, it's impossible. I had a life coach once, and she said, it's impossible for you to lie to yourself. You will instantly feel inside you're lying to yourself. And I was like, okay, here we go. And then she kind of did this exercise on me. And I had to close my eyes, and she'd ask me questions, and she said, your body will either go forwards or backwards based on whether you're telling the truth, and you can't stop it. And I was like, okay. Anyway, we did it, and it was, whether it was subconscious, she didn't tell me I was going to do this before. She told me afterwards, otherwise probably subconsciously I would have done it. And it is 100% true, because
you cannot lie to yourself.
You can't, because you know if you do something, if that makes you feel positive or negative inside, what emotions it creates. And if you say something that isn't genuine to the person you are, you will feel that inside, because you know you're trying to fit in somewhere that maybe you don't feel 100% comfortable in. So I think the biggest mistake is when I know something hasn't been right, I may have allowed other people to influence my decisions, or maybe felt that I needed to give them the space because, you know, it's not it's not nice if I just override decisions and go, well, it's because I feel like that. And they go, okay, great, here we go. So it's about finding those things. But I genuinely think really backing my gut instinct and just owning it is one thing I'm not going to ignore this year.
Okay. We have something called the Phoebe Cribs, whereby we love to take the cameras and film amazing office space. And I hear from Francesca that you have unveiled already, or about to unveil, an absolutely spanking office.
Yeah, nearly. The last bit will be finished in April. So that's the social hub. So basically the pub is not finished yet. But yes, we've based it on The Internship. Have you seen that film?
Yeah, with Owen Wilson and...
No, the other one with, I'm not very good. Yes, that's it. Anne Hathaway and Robert De Niro.
Huh.
And she is
idea.
really successful, entrepreneur. She does she's almost does a fashion brand, and she has this office, and she has a bike that she cycles from one space to the other. I don't have a bike yet, but I might have a scooter, and it's just really nice. I really love I just think there's nothing worse than being in a horrible office space.
That must have cost a bit, right?
Yes, this year we've done a huge investment in the company.
And a lot of people would never think to do that, because they would think that's a lot of money. Why are we doing that? Your thinking is spend the money because...
Well, the team are worth it.
And the team are worth it.
Yeah.
Enough said.
We have a wine fridge. The creative director's gone very bougie on the social space, which hasn't been unveiled to the team. It won't be until it's finished. But it's just creating a nice work environment. People love it. They literally are like, oh, it's like a New York apartment. It's great.
When can we come and see it?
When we're finished in April. You can come to the opening, yeah.
Oh, I'd love that.
Yes, absolutely.
Because I think it's lovely to hear, because you are right. Especially if you're office-based, people do spend a lot of time at work. If you therefore make an inspiring, wonderful workplace, it's just going to raise everyone to another level.
Yes.
So if you've got the culture plus the workspace, you're on
plus the kitchen island.
The kitchen island. I can't wait to see about this. It sounds amazing.
Thursdays, people are on the kitchen island. So yeah,
sounds absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it's good fun.
So you're young, right? You've got a lot. You're young, and you've built this amazing business. What do the next 10 years look like?
Yeah, it's such a good question, isn't it?
Or 3 years or 5 years, whatever, whichever way you picture it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the biggest thing for me is building up kind of my support network in terms of the senior members of staff around to help drive the business forward. I think I've done as much as I can to take it to where I have, and I think actually that we need a bit more expertise in those fields, especially sales and marketing. We've never nailed that, and now we've brought someone in who's unbelievable. So who knows? She was like, what's the biggest opportunity? I was like, well, we've never nailed the one part of the business that makes money, and we're doing okay. So I think this is a huge opportunity. It's really about setting the business up for sustainable growth, in the sense where we can find a rhythm where we're not just saying, yes, I want to get to a point where we are saying to people, sorry, we're not taking any more clients. We've got a steady flow of events where we're working with a variety of different brands and the type of events, so that the team still feel like they're doing different things, and really nailing our kind of internal processes and nurturing the team and all the things that I think get overlooked sometimes.
Brilliant. Well, listen, Jen, your business in terms of what you do sounds amazing. Your people sound incredible. But you are flipping awesome. And this has been so inspiring to hear, for me, your whole purpose and your why as to why you're doing this, which is essentially to make the lives of the people that come into that trust you, to work with you, to build that brand with you, to buy into your vision, to make their lives better.
100%.
And I can't think of a purer, more beautiful reason for any business. And it's so lovely, therefore, to see the success you're achieving. And I can't wait to see where you guys go the next few years. So thanks for coming. Thanks for coming. It's been lovely to meet you. You're epic.
Thank you.
Okay, hi, we've got Jen Davidson, the founder of Sleek. How you doing? How you doing, Jen?
Good, thanks.
Yeah, it's lovely to have you here.
Thanks
For dropping by my establishment.
It's lovely, actually.
It is nice, isn't it? We can do six questions. Okay, I don't want you to overthink it. Shoot from the heart.
Okay.
And just let's see how we go.
Let's see what happens.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right. What have you sacrificed to build your business?
Time.
Time.
I think when you start, you've just got to put a lot of time in, and you think that life will wait for you, and it doesn't.
And it doesn't.
You have to take everyone with you rather than leave them behind, because
Any
actually
re-
when you reach success, you want to have people to share it with.
Any regrets?
No, I rectified it when we hit COVID, but leading up until COVID, I was working like a donkey.
What's one thing no one tells you about the life of an entrepreneur?
There's no manual.
Mm,
Yeah. You've
Yeah.
got to do your own learning and development and
freestyle.
freestyling.
Yeah.
Put yourself in uncomfortable situations like this.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And what's been the biggest surprise about running a business?
That you can just give it a go. Like if it doesn't work, you can go and get a job. So jump in, see what happens.
It is true, isn't it? What is the worst that can really happen?
Yeah.
Has there been a moment you've thought about quitting?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Never.
Never.
Ever.
No.
Wow. You made a tough stuff. If you could do it all again, what would you do differently?
So I had the chance to do it all again after COVID, and I think what I would do differently, I don't know, it's hard, isn't it? I know it's meant to be a quick answer, but I don't have a quick answer. I'm always tweaking things. So for me, I act in the moment and I do things when I think they're not right.
Really?
Yes. I'm not sure if people love it, but they go with it.
Jen, you've been quick-fired. You were
Thanks.
brilliant. Hi, I'm John. We're playing darts. I've got Jen from Sleek Events. Word on the street is she's a bit good. Let's see. 6 darts, take it away, Jen.
No pressure. I really want to be really good.
Compared to some, that's positive.
That's positive.
Oh, so what we got? 47. That's a solid effort, Jen. Hey!